Concrete pastures.
That's green, that's right.
Hello, family. Welcome back to Concrete Pastures. I'm Nancy Mulemwasisi. Oh my God, I'm so excited again. Today we are highlighting another voice, another powerful voice in our refugee circle. And she's been a voice for so many. And before I even introduce her, for anybody who's new, welcome to Concrete Pastures. Welcome to our platform where we highlight immigrants who have relocated to different countries in search of greener pasture. We also share our stories of our various experiences and, learned lessons along the way and offer new perspective on the journey of an immigrant. So whether you are currently an immigrant or soon or later to be immigrant or just curious, come along with us on this journey and let's get a better understanding of what it really means to be an immigrant. A lot of you have been watching us and, listening to our material. You haven't subscribed. Come on, subscribe, like, and share. You never know whose life you're going to be touching with someone else's story. So please support us by subscribing. We want to make sure that we continue to get amazing guests like our guest today. Her name is Krista Rivas, and she is originally from Nicaragua. She's our first guest from Nicaragua. Our guest today is an advocate for refugee rights and human dignity, supporting refugee students in Latin America. Krista Rivas is a young refugee advocate, an architecture and an international relations student at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM. As a DAFI Scholar, she is recognized for her academic excellence and her dedication for advocating for the rights of forcibly displaced people. Based in Mexico City, Krista holds prominent leadership roles that drive change on both regional and global levels. Krista's advocacy focuses on education, support, and creating opportunities for self-reliance among displaced communities. She has represented young refugees in various international forums, bringing attention to the challenges faced by forcibly displaced people and emphasizes the need for education and empowerment. Through her leadership, she continues to foster collaboration and drive solutions that promote a brighter future for refugee youth. Welcome, Krista. How are you?
Thank you for inviting me here. I'm really excited for being here.
Oh my gosh, we always start from home. We want to know a little bit about Nicaragua. What happened? How did you end up in Mexico as a refugee? Just give us a little background story as to how you was growing up in Nicaragua.
Sure. Well, Nicaragua is a really small country in the center of America, and it's actually one of the poorest in the whole continent. So it was a little bit different growing up there. I come from a really small town, actually. To go to the furthest place, it took you just 15 minutes walking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and everyone knew everyone. So it was a complete change now that I live in Mexico City, one of the biggest cities in the world. So it was nice actually because I was from a small town, so everyone knew me, knew who I was. Everyone tried to always support me beside my family. So it was really nice, but growing up, it was hard because we don't have as many opportunities as people might have in other countries with better economy. So growing up, I always thought about studying in another country to also help my family. I always had that idea, but something happened in my country then. A political situation started with especially young students. So a lot of them ended up leaving my country. Beside the economic part was the persecution. So that's why I decided to leave my country. First, I went to Costa Rica, which is in the south of Nicaragua.
Mhm.
And there I wanted to study, but Costa Rica is a really expensive country to live, to study and everything. Even though we are close, it's really expensive. So I talked with my family and I told them that I wanted to keep studying. And we decided to look for countries that are cheaper. And one of the options was actually Mexico. That's
Mhm.
why I came here. I made some tests to access to public universities, and then the pandemic COVID came.
Oh, wow.
And yeah,
You came during that
and
time?
yeah, I came to Mexico in 2020 actually.
Oh,
And
that was like in the thick of it.
yeah, so when I decided I was supposed to go back to Costa Rica because I have family there. I just came here to do the test and then leave and see what happens if I get in or not. But
Mhm.
the day that I was supposed to leave, COVID hit Mexico and Central America, so all the flights were canceled. Yeah.
Wow.
And I had to stay here. I thought it was going to be maybe 2 weeks, 1 month,
Mhm.
something like it. But 3 years of COVID, so I had to stay here. And my country with the pandemic, my country got worse economically, politically, in different ways. So it was not an option to go back. And I decided to apply for refugee status here in Mexico.
Oh, wow. So I know you've been there now, I guess now from 2020. How
Yeah.
is Mexico? How do you like it? What is it giving to you other than Costa Rica and of course your country?
Well, Mexico is one of the richest country also in Latin America, so it was a good option. But first, it was hard for me because, like I said, it's a huge city. I didn't know how to move around,
Mm.
how everything worked, how to apply for even the refugee status. It was hard to find out what I had to do, how to get to the offices. And with my college, it was also hard because, of course, it had to be online first because of the
Everything
COVID.
was online at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it was also harder to adapt because I couldn't interact with Mexicans. I was new in a country and I couldn't interact with anyone. So yeah, but I feel really good here actually, because here I have opportunities that I never had in my country. In my university, there are courses of maybe 20 different languages that I can learn, cultural things, art, because I also paint and draw since I was little. And here I can get better at it. So I'm really happy here actually. And Mexicans are so nice. They
Yeah.
are so
No, they're
good with
very,
it.
very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always are happy to see if someone is new and give you the best welcoming that you can get. So that make it easier even.
Yeah. No, they're very, very nice. I've been to
Yeah.
Mexico on vacation. I mean, it's definitely different than living there. Every time I interact with anybody from Mexico or when I'm in Mexico, it's so everybody is so kind, so
Yeah.
nice. Um, but aside from you being a refugee, I get it that you would just be focusing on yourself. What inspired you to become an advocate for the refugee rights?
Well, everything started because when I got into college, I had
Mhm.
some problems with all my documents because they had to be, I don't know if in English is apostille or something like it. In Spanish could be apostillado. Yeah, when our country says that are original or documents.
Oh, the documents
But
have to be
yeah,
original. Oh,
yeah,
no copies.
no. And that's
Oh.
a real problem here. Of course, I understand because Mexico used to be just the bridge between the American dream and the people from Latin America. So they don't have systems to actually accept the quantity of migrants that are staying here now. So I started because I met a few other migrants that had the same problems that I
Mhm.
had. And it was hard because in the colleges they ask you for your documentation, the originals, but they don't understand the difference between an international student and a refugee. and they just tell you, why don't you go back to your country and give everything, and then you come back, and it's like, I can't go back to my country, and you have to explain what a refugee is. So
Right.
yeah, that's why I started. And then I found out about a scholarship called DAFI from
Yes.
UNHCR. And they connected me with other refugees, with a lot of them. And then I was presented a project called Tertiary Refugee Student Network, which is working actually in other countries globally, but here in Mexico is new. We just celebrated 1 year of being here. And I joined that project actually. And we've been doing a lot of work now with other refugees, especially about the education facts that we are not getting the access that we need.
Oh, wow. I know that you, Monica, you and I know Monica. We met through Monica, and
Yeah.
you were here in New York. I briefly said hi, and then we connected later when Monica officially introduced us. Is that why you were in New York at the UN?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. No, because Monica kind of gave me a debrief of what you do. So I'm like, yes, of course. Let's highlight her story. And I didn't even know that, Mexico had such a huge number of refugees as well. So I was like, let's find out more, because mostly what we are seeing for us who live in the US is Mexicans, our fellow Mexicans coming in the US, and we don't know what's happening in truly in Mexico as well. So I'm glad that you're shedding some light on that. Um, so DAFI scholars has influenced academic and advocacy work for you.
Yeah.
What opportunities has that opened for you? And also the students that you represent?
Well, for me, it allowed me to study without having to worry about getting 2 jobs to be able to pay my career, because I'm also studying architecture, and that's really expensive. We use a lot of materials that leave me without money at the end of the semester.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was also able to actually study international relations, which is my second career now, and that helped me a lot. And with advocacy, first of all, they opened the doors for me. UNHCR helped me to meet other refugees, hear their stories from different countries, different continents. And that inspired me to actually join this more. They take me to different places to speak out loud, because like you said, many people don't know what is happening here in Latin America.
No.
It's new for many. Actually, when I was in New York, that you mentioned, a lot of people came by to me and told me, I didn't know that was happening in Latin America.
Mhm.
Everyone, when you think about a refugee, you think about the situations that are in the news, like, I don't know, Ukraine, that kind of things. But you don't see that many news about what's happening actually here. And that's why I also want to keep speaking about what's happening here, because we also need support to keep growing, because I understand that right now Mexico is taking a lot of migrants, and they are trying too hard to help us, but that's not enough. We need more support from other organizations. We need more support also to help the migrants, because, well, we leave our countries, but nobody leaves if they want to. Many of them are forced to leave, and many of them want to go back. And that's
Mhm.
why we are working for. We want them, if there's a possibility, to go back, but in a better situation,
Yeah.
to help also their home countries to grow too. So that's why I keep trying to tell the people that we are also struggling here with migrants, including me, of course.
Wow, no, that's really informative, because when I was talking to, again, Monica, she shared a little bit of what you are doing. I was very inspired. I was like, wow. Um, Again, we have no idea what's happening. So you standing up and being a voice for um a lot of people in South America, it's huge. It's huge, truly. Um, can you discuss some of the strategies that you are using to advocate to include the refugee students for higher education?
Sure. Well, first of all, we have a gallery. That's a new project called Reveal Resilience.
Review
Uh,
up
Reveal Resilience.
or review resilience? Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are pictures of the refugees here before and after the lives, how Mexico changed their life for better. And we are trying to portray them not as victims, but instead as people that are contributing to their communities. In this way, we are making more people aware of what's happening, and that refugees are not looking just to receive help, but instead they want to help to their
Yeah.
new communities. And we are also have a new project called Social Economy. We are selling products, and the money that we are getting, some of it is used to keep producing our products, and the other one is going to be used to help other students. If they need, I don't know, food or maybe a laptop to keep studying or Wi-Fi or that kind of things, we are going to use that money to help them. We are also trying to be in every space possible, in any country, in any event, to also raise the voices, not just mine, but all the refugees that are here in Latin America, and share their stories, what they are living, what they are doing, how they are helping actually, and sharing the projects that we are doing to also get even more support. And so we are trying to help by raising awareness, helping them economically, and also sharing their voices internationally. That's why we are mostly doing.
No, that's amazing. So you've been on international stages,
Yeah.
um, for on behalf of your fellow refugees. Like, how do you think these platforms can better save displaced communities?
Well, I think first of all, we need even more spaces, because in many places you say a refugee and people, I don't know, they get scared or they don't want to talk about that kind of things. In many countries that happens, or they aren't even taken into account when they make a decision that affects them. They don't even ask them. So I think first of all is that give them the space to speak. That's the best way to help them. And also invite them more to join their communities. For example, I always think about a friend here that is also part of TRSN. She is studying medicine right now, and she creates a lot of work. She goes to the frontiers to help them, to give them all the things that they need and about their health about their health, and which is hard to find when you are a refugee. You don't have access to actually hospitals in the first day, or you don't know where they are. So also this kind of work, it's necessary to do it not just by refugees. They need to help the communities to join these refugees, because this does not just helps the refugees but helps the whole community. So I think also promote these kind of things that refugees are doing are going to help to change the vision that the communities have, and even help them and even join these kind of things to help everyone.
Wow. Well said. Well said. What do you believe education is crucial to the empowerment for displaced communities? And how can we lead with the reliance on that?
I think it's the most important thing, because I mean, when you leave your country, first you are scared of what's going to happen with your life. You don't know what's going to happen. I remember being, besides scared of leaving my country and my family behind, I didn't know what's going to happen in the future. And now that I'm studying, I see a lot of older young refugees struggling to even enter to a college, which is hard because when you are little, it doesn't matter where you are from, who are you. You always dream about being, I don't know, a doctor, a lawyer, or something like it. And it's hard when everyone says, no, you can't. And that stops you and even sometimes leaves you like sad, scared what's going to happen. I can't do anything besides having a small work, what's going to happen with my dreams. So I think that's the main reason why we have to change this, because we need to motivate the refugees to join their communities, their new communities. And education is the main way to get there, because they can, I don't know, maybe become a doctor and work in a hospital and help Mexicans in this case, and also help refugees and feel like a family together. And education is the main step to help them to also for self-reliance, because they don't want to be depending on the government's help their whole lives. They just want to study and work in what they are studying and make their new lives and build new families and join what they need, what their communities, sorry. So it's the main step to start a new life.
Awesome. Do you keep in touch with your family?
Yeah, a lot. My family is everywhere. I still have some family in Nicaragua, others are in the US. So we try to talk as much as possible because, well, right now I'm happy, but first I was homesick
Of
and I
course.
used to cry a lot because I was just 20 years old and living far away from my family.
Oh
And
my
it was
God.
hard, yeah, but they supported me a lot. And that's why I also keep trying to moving forward because I want to help them in the future too.
Yeah. So how about your family in Nicaragua? How are they doing?
They are good, actually. Well, especially my grandparents, they don't want to live what they've known their whole lives.
Yeah.
And but they are really good because we are from a small town, so they are friends with everyone. They just miss us, of course, but I happy that they are still in a place that they know everyone, that they might get help if they need it, and they also help other people that need it. So they are actually really good.
So it seems like you have a really good foundation coming from where you came from, where everybody knows each other and everybody lends a hand if
Yeah,
someone needs it. And I think you've carried that as a great representation for your country, your family, through to Mexico where you are. Because it's not everybody, can do what you are doing, which is really amazing, being an advocate. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
thank you.
So future aspirations. What are the aspirations for the future regarding advocacy work and the rights for the foreseeable displaced youth?
Well, first of all, we want to open more spaces with governments and institutions
Okay.
and change the idea of refugees. Also, the problem here is that international students pay more compared to Mexicans in this case, and many institutions don't know the difference between an international student and a refugee. So we are trying to change that image. So for the future, we want refugees to be able to access to universities without all these obstacles first. That's
Mhm.
our main dream. And also be able to work with governments and be able to be part of the table where they will be talking about the laws that are affecting us too. That's our main goals. And also help future refugees to be able to maintain themselves, to be able to study without the necessity of having two jobs, for, self-reliance, be able to contribute to their communities.
Beautiful, beautiful. What did the UN say when you came and addressed these issues on the national stage? What was the feedback?
Well, first they said that they didn't know this was happening here. And many of them said that they will be trying to help us more. Actually, I spoke with the permanent representative of Mexico there, And he said that he was, of course, aware of what was happening, but he will be trying to open more spaces for us. Because also a problem is that in those spaces, mostly when we talk about refugees, we don't talk about refugees in Latin America. We are often ignored, and that's why I was happy also to be speaking there, because many of them said that I didn't know what this was happening, and I will invite more people from Latin America, because I also was there with a friend from Honduras. He's from Honduras, and he's working currently to avoid the necessity of leaving Honduras, to change the violence that is happening there. And that's why I also was happy, because he was sharing the work that he's doing to prevent the immigration. And I was also sharing the work that we are doing once the immigration happened. So a lot of people was interested in what we were doing. And the feedback was, well, almost keep doing what you're doing, and we will support you.
No, that's amazing. Have they started coming through, or because I mean we had the assembly months ago.
Yeah, many of them have come true, and we are starting with new projects for next year. And I think that's why it's important also to be, in this case, in the UN, because that's how you also get the support that you need.
It's true. What type of projects are those?
What?
What type of projects are those that you guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
working on?
Right now, for example, we received one with Save the Children. They are starting to create new projects to help the kids that are coming without their parents to Latin America, to Mexico. And they ask us for feedback and to join their projects. So that's one of the examples. We are also right now part of the quadripartite mechanism, which is the union of the Mexican government with COMAR, which is the Mexican Commission for Refugees. And they are the ones that give us the refugee status. Also with other organizations about migration, to work together to change the laws and to help other people here, and to help them to access easier to healthcare, education, and jobs. So that's a few of the things that we are starting to work.
So do you get you live at the refugee camp, right?
No, right now, no. I live close to my college. From what I know, the refugee camps only exist in the frontiers in the north between the US and Mexico, and in the south between Guatemala and Mexico.
So when they accept you as a refugee, what happens? How is that process? Do they provide you housing? What are they doing?
Well, the Mexican Commission just gives you the permission to work here and study here, which is they give you the status of permanent residence.
Okay.
And if you need housing and that kind of things, at least in Mexico City, you have to get closer to the organizations like Refugees House is one called, and they help you with clothing, money if you need it, jobs, and that kind of things. Yeah, in Mexico City, it's a little bit different. Actually, there's one of the main problems here. There are no camps or places to live. So if you go closer to the building of the Mexican Commission for Refugees, you'll see many of them are living in the streets, waiting for their approval or denial of their refugee status. So, because there are no camps or places to stay.
Oh my God. Wow. So wait, once they deny you, either, I don't know, you go back to where you came from, is that the process? Or maybe there's other organizations that do help aside from.
Well, if you get denied, you can ask for a second review of your situation. And many organizations, including UNHCR and Refugees Home, which is the one that helped me, they give you a lawyer to help you with all the process. So if you apply for the second time and they help you, you might get the right answer that you needed. If you get denied, from what I know, at least here, we don't have a migration police like I've seen in other countries.
Yeah,
So at least for now, but I heard that that might start. So you can stay here, but the problem is going to be access to a job.
I see. I see. Oh, wow. What advice do you would you like to give to young individuals who want to be involved in advocating for refugees and displaced people?
I will say, tell them that do it. Just do it. Go closer to an organization that you know, or to UNHCR, or anything that you've seen in your community, and join. You'll be happy to see how you help other people, because you know, when I was in Nicaragua, I used to see all the migrants coming through my country. And a few years later, I became one, and I didn't know that was going to happen. So join. You never know when you are going through, you are going to be, you are going to have to leave your country too. So we need to change our view about migrants, because many of them don't leave their countries because they want to.
Yeah,
They have to.
yeah,
And we need to be more open with them, be giving them the welcoming. And you never know, maybe if you in the future need something because you are going through a hard path, you don't even know if that migrant that you help might help you now.
yes,
So please join, support us. It's not necessary that you give $1 million to help. You can go to the refugee camp and, I don't know, help them to give them food, or help them to clean, or things like that. Any type of help, it's a lot, especially when you are struggling in your mind that with the fact that you left your country. So every hand that comes to you to help you, it's a really nice feeling seeing people helping you. So just please join and share what the people are living there. Share with other people what's happening, what might happen. So we can also even speak out loud to also work for our what are the word, to also be able to receive more help and to contribute back to our communities.
yeah. No, of course, of course. I forgot to ask you some of the challenges that I know you've said them as you were talking. What are the main challenges, like the biggest challenges that you see with your community for the refugees? What are those challenges that you see a lot more?
Well, besides the education,
Hmm.
I think one could be the, first of all, the documentation problem, I think. Because you don't have many access to the information to how to apply for refugee status, who is helping refugees, what kind of organizations exist.
Got it.
I've Yeah, I found out about UNHCR actually through Facebook publicity. I didn't know about them before till I searched for the refugee status. Facebook noticed that and they gave me that publicity. But what if you don't have a cell phone with you? So the information, I think, is the main problem here. Yeah. And for us, for refugees, and also for Mexicans, because they still don't know what a refugee is, or if our identifications are real, because there's also another problem. If you have to buy a certain medicament and you go to the pharmacy and you need to show your identification, they tell you this is not real, or this is not one of the identification that we accept. And when you explain that you are a refugee, and that identification was given to you by the Mexican government, they still don't know if that's true. So that's the main problem, which is what stops also universities from accepting more refugees. And that's the base of everything, information.
Oh my God. No, that's really eye-opening in terms of like identification. If someone is given ID, I think maybe I don't even know, like maybe televise it. Like this is what we give to our refugees as identification. So it's, everybody is aware. Wow. Really eye-opening, really eye-opening. Um, Anything else you want to share? This is your floor. That has been on your heart aside from what you've already shared. Anything else you want to share?
Well, I think just a message for all the migrants that are right now struggling or starting just their journey. I will say them to embrace their journey. I know it's hard, but please do it with patience and perseverance. Challenges are inevitable, but they also come with opportunities for growth. 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to be speaking here, especially in a language that is not my mother tongue. And now I'm able to speak aloud, not just for me, but for many others. So please keep with your mind open. You'll grow. And what in a few years you'll see that, wow, I went through all that and right now I'm living my dream. It was hard, but it's worth it. So also be proactive about learning, whether it's language, the cultural norms, new skills. Take advantage of the resources like our community centers, libraries, online platforms, and most importantly, don't lose the sight of your goals. I know it's going to be hard, whether you want to study or work or do whatever you want, but don't lose that sight. It's easy to feel discouraged, honestly, when things move slowly, but progress, no matter how small, is still the progress. And lastly, never underestimate the power of your story. Share it with others because it can inspire, build connections, and even open more doors that you never expected.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well said. Never underestimate the power of your story. It's really good advice to everybody. I love the advice that you've given to all of us. Sometimes we don't take seriously how our story is so powerful and it can impact somebody. And then small beginnings, like don't underestimate your small beginnings.
Yeah.
Everybody has been somewhere, and to echo what you just said, uh, problems and having challenges, they are inevitable as an immigrant. Anywhere in the world, it's new culture, it's new everything. You have to get used to everything. Um, yeah. So really, really good advice. You, my dear, I'm so grateful for making time. I know it's even early in Mexico. We are an hour apart. But I'm so grateful to you for making time, and I'm grateful to Monica for introducing us. This was really a great connect. I've gotten some insight. I've learned a lot. This was informative. I had no idea up until I spoke to you. And then even sitting down now, you've opened me up to a lot. I'm doing a lot of work to give a voice to the voiceless, and you, my dear, are doing that. So we'll continue the journey of highlighting a lot of people who are a voice for a lot on this platform. So thank you, thank you, thank you for making time.
Thank you for inviting me here. Your job is amazing and please keep doing it.
Thank you so much.